In this one, it's labeled investing is not a 401k or a mutual fund the way your brokers and everyone else would tell you it is. And I'm going to tell you why it's not, okay? So out of all the stocks in the world, the most consistent stock that's like the government bond of stocks is the S&P 500 index fund. If you look up over the last 40 to 50 years, it's done anywhere between 7 and 10% a year consistently, even through those economy downslides, which means some years it's done 12, 13, 14%, right? Now that is the government bond of stocks, okay? It costs 1/16 of 1% to buy this stock, right? This is where Warren Buffett is going to put all of his money for his wife and for his children when he dies. And all that money is just going to sit there until these kids of his can find a better investment that will yield a better dividend than 7 to 10% a year, right? Now, why would Warren Buffett put all his money there and not in a 401k, not in a mutual fund, right? The reason why is because a mutual fund or a 401k on average will charge you 3,000 times more money than it will just to buy the S&P 500 index fund directly, right? They charge on average 3% to 4% a year when you add up their fees and all of their additional, penalties or whatever, right? So what would you rather pay, 3% or 1/16 of 1%? Now here's the crazy thing, right? Out of all of the tens of thousands of mutual funds in the world, less than 3% of them beat the S&P 500 on an annual basis. And that 3% will never be the same fund consistently. There's only one person that's consistently beat the S&P 500. His name is Ray Dalio, right? He's beat the fund 30 years in a row. And his fundamentals are very basic and simple. You can look them up on YouTube yourself. But stop giving away 3,000% more money for having a potential 3% chance of beating the S&P 500 index fund, which means 97% of all the funds that you as a W-2 employee have been investing in don't even beat the basic mutual fund bond of the stock market. It doesn't even beat the government bond of the stock, right? So you're paying 3,000% more to get less. And the reason why you're doing that is because that's what you've been sold. And the reason you've been sold that is because the margins are so good for the broker, right? Just like in the marketing crash of 2007 and 2008, right? When the real estate market crashed, right? Why did the real estate market crash? Because the banks were willing to give a mortgage broker a $10,000 commission if they sold you a CDO loan, right? Or a high risk loan that had a 5-year fixed rate and then it went through what's called a teaser rate and then it went to variable mortgage the rest of the time, right? That was more money for the broker. And the traditional 30-year fixed mortgage was only going to make the broker maybe $2,000. And so subconsciously, what do you think the broker did? You think the broker sold you a $10,000 commission mortgage for him or a $2,000 commission for him? Same thing with these brokers. They're going to go out there and find companies and sell them 401ks and sell them mutual funds and all these other things because they make 3,000% more money. It's just easy math. The ones that are marketed to you are the ones you need to stay away from. And the ones that you don't hear about at all, you have to look up and find yourself. That's where the money is. That's why Warren Buffett himself constantly is always the 3rd or 2nd or 4th richest man in the world because he finds value in places no one like us are willing to look. Thank you.